I'm Jane Godey. I am the principal here at Mount Healthy Early Learning Center. Today is a special day as we gather here to celebrate this beautiful playground. This playground represents not only physical activity, but also a symbol of community, growth, and learning. I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to all of those who worked to make this dream come true, especially Shayna Berg. When we opened the ELC 3 years ago, we knew we wanted to expand our outdoor learning environment because our students are worthy to have a space for them to extend their learning and flourish. It is a place where our students can let their imaginations run wild, where they can challenge themselves and each other, and where they can make memories and build friendships. Can I have Ron Reedy and Eric Schmidt to please come forward? The physical equipment you see here, the racetrack, the gumdrops, the musical equipment, are all donated by Eric Schmidt, owner of the Playground Equipment Services. Without Eric, none of this would have been possible. We are also grateful to Ron Reedy, Amber Flannery, and Sarah Evans, who are here from the Kiffmeyer Foundation, who donated the musical instruments for our students to enjoy. The late Kenny Kiffmeyer was a pillar in the Mount Healthy community, and Ron and his family are continuing their legacy through their foundation. The Kiffmeyer Foundation continues to support Mount Healthy City Schools in a variety of areas, and we are very thankful for all they do for our students. I would like to take this opportunity to introduce Ron Reedy to say a few words.
Thank you, Jane. Good afternoon, everybody. As Jane said, I'm Ron Reedy. I'm here to represent the Kenny Kiffmeyer Foundation, along with Kenny's daughters, who are Mount Healthy grads, by the way. All the things, as I look back in our last 5 years of creating this foundation, this one today, this project here today, really hits home what Kenny Kiffmeyer was all about. He was a football coach in this area for 40 years, but he understood that making a positive impact on his players would help benefit them in their futures down the road. And he knew it was bigger than football. It was about life. So fast forward, I got to come here to an awesome presentation by Jane and Shayna to learn more about the ELC and take a tour of the facility. And 2 minutes into the presentation, it was very obvious that the commitment, the passion, the dedication that not only they had, but their entire staff had about wanting to make their students successful every minute of every day that they were here and set them up, for their future, whether it be kindergarten or first grade here. So it was just very inspiring. Their energy was very contagious and inspiring, and which led us out here to the end of the tour. And I kind of felt bad for Shayna. She brought us out here and she said, all right, we have an opportunity here. We have one piece of playground equipment. We got 322 kids. We got 100 kids on the waiting list. We have to take turns getting on the equipment. If anybody knows anybody, could you help us out? Well, at the end, we were leaving. I told Shayna, I said, I got a guy. So get home that night, I call Eric Schmidt. He says, I'll meet you there at 10 o'clock the next morning. Brought him out here, called Shayna. I said, Shayna, we're coming out at 10. I said, Eric's got some great ideas. And he said, I'm going to go back to the shop, see what I can get my hands on. I'll call you back. Calls me back. He said, meet me there tomorrow at 11:30. He's got equipment coming out of his car. He's got a drone back here, sitting right here in the scrum with all the students. It was fantastic. Took some great pictures. 2 weeks later, he had his install completed. So this guy right here has got a heart of gold. His generosity with his time and talent in this area is unmatched. Their work is known around this country. It's been a fantastic marriage to come together and have this for the kids out here today. And I'd like Eric to come up and say a few words. I know he probably doesn't want to, but I'm going to pass it off to Eric. So thanks a lot, man.
Thank you. Hey guys, thank you everybody. Most important thing that we do in our path is making sure that we're helping the little guys. It's more than playgrounds, it's early childhood development. How do we help the kiddos become bigger and better kiddos? So most importantly, what do you guys think? Do you like the racetrack? You like the gumdrops? You guys like the playground? You happy with it? All right, so as long as those guys are happy, the rest of us can deal with it. No, I really appreciate it, and honestly, if it wasn't for the Kiffmeyer Foundation, none of this would have happened. Ron calling me up and saying, "Hey, do you got any ideas?" I'm like, "I got plenty of ideas. It's just which direction you want to go." So we talk with Ron and being able to get this stuff in for the kiddos, having them an opportunity to play and learn is one of the most important things we can do to help our kids and help our communities, continue to get stronger and better. So, again, Ron, the foundation, thank you guys for allowing me to be a small part, very, very small part of helping bring us together for the students here at the school. Thank you.
Thank you, Ron and Eric. Eric, we are still dreaming, and we are going to keep inspiring to make this bigger and better. If I could have Maggie Hoskins, Sue Williams, and Doug Moore, if you want to come forward, please. This might be a little harder. Last year, we lost a cherished and dear member of the ELC family. Lori Moore worked in the Mount Healthy schools for over 21 years. She touched lives of many of our students within the Mount Healthy community, and her dedication is tremendously missed by all. We began to discuss ways in order for Lori's spirit to continue here at the ELC, and with the gracious donation from the Glen Mary Council of the Knights of Columbus, Miss Lori's bike came to fruition. Lori's memories will continue to live through the smiles, laughter, and joy of our ELC students. I would like to introduce some staff members who've worked with Lori over the years to say a few words. First, Sue Williams. Sue was the big inspiration in getting the Knights of Columbus involved in the donation of Miss Lori's bike.
Thank you. So Lori, like Jane said, Lori was a much-loved part of Mount Healthy, and especially the ELC and Rex Ralph that was on these grounds before the ELC. And when she passed away last fall, a bunch of her old coworkers and I wanted to do something to remember her and to always have her with us. And so we got the idea to get this bike over here, which we had one like it at Rex Ralph. And Lori and I spent many an afternoon at that bike teaching kids how to ride bikes. And so I know that she would approve. So the Knights of Columbus was instrumental in paying for that. They donated basically the cost of that bike. And I think that's pretty appropriate because Lori was a woman of strong faith. So it's very appropriate that the Knights of Columbus would fund that in her memory. And then in addition, a bunch of her former coworkers, specifically from Rex Ralph, wanted to donate money as well. So they were very generous. We were able to get the best signs we could possibly get to commemorate the bike, including Lori's picture on it. So Lori will always be here with us. We'll always remember her. She'll always be a part of the ELC. So we appreciate everyone who donated.
Next, I would like to introduce Maggie Hoskins.
Good afternoon. My paper looks long, but it's just big print. I had the incredible joy of working with and knowing Lori for the better part of a decade. She welcomed me to North in 2015 and was the best coworker a person could ask for. It was my second year in Mount Healthy, but my first as a full-time educational employee, so I watched and learned and was guided by the very best. I don't know how it felt so easy coming to work, learning the world of early ed, navigating the challenges of the learning of the field, except Lori was in it with me. And she set an example, and I was and am still eager to follow. She was early every day, but didn't necessarily rush out at dismissal either. We tag teamed like lady bosses and played little jokes and competitions with each other about who would prep what or who would change who first. And we both loved being able to tell each other, "Oh, I got that," or "already done," so we could spend more time doing what we both loved, helping the littlest minds grow. I also learned quickly how big her servant's heart was. She was a woman of faith, and I know she did so much because it was also how she walked that walk. Many times she bought clothing for our kiddos, or she would take it upon herself to research situations and find strategies that would possibly work for our most challenging moments. And I cannot count the number of times we celebrated over our kiddos reaching milestones and all the giggles over the cuteness. What a blessing it was to work with someone so passionate about what they do. We also loved going to PD classes. As long as either of us was going, we knew that we could survive a 3 to 6 hour class on a Saturday. And we took turns making those classes and our work life a bit sweeter with coffee and treats and jokes. And boy, do I miss making her laugh. To me, Miss Lori was so much more than a great woman to work with. We joined one another in life's milestones, from babies to birthdays to the passing of friends and family. No one could have shown more compassion and understanding during those times with such a genuine spirit. I also know that she touched the lives of everyone else she worked with and that she knew. And I know that she's super proud of her friends, Miss Sue, for helping this idea that honors her memory and impact that she had on our little owls and their families come to fruition. The bike is a perfect metaphor for early education, with children having to learn how to work together for a positive outcome. That was also so Lori. Working, serving in and out of school for the most positive outcome. She was the absolute good we want to see in this world. And I know that we are all here continuing that good work. So I thank you, Sue, and the foundation, and to Doug and Matt and Becky and the rest of her family for being her biggest supports of her professional life. Thank you.
Wow. I wrote a script because I knew it was going to be hard to get through. But I always love to say Lori Moore, because I'll always love the sound of that. I was so honored that she was my wife, and it still amazes me that I was as blessed as I was and am. You know, there were countless times when Lori and I would be standing in a line at a store. And as I was thinking about today, it just happened to cross my mind that we'd be standing in line, and every so often there would be a little boy or a little girl standing next to Lori. And Lori would start a conversation with them about whatever it might be. Maybe how cool their shoes were or whatever. Maybe they were playing with their hair and she made a comment or something like that. But it would always put a smile on my face because I just admired at how easily she made it happen. And so I know that someone earlier mentioned that she had a huge heart. And that she did. She had a lot of love to give. And certainly for her family and her friends. But she always had room and always some extra love for the kids. And like I said, it was always special to me whenever I got a chance to experience that. And I know all of you had obviously a bigger opportunity than I to see her love in action. So that brings us to here today, and I was just so thrilled when Sue mentioned the bike, and I had no idea what it was. I said, "Can you send me a picture?" I have so much education experience, it just didn't quite sink in. But you know, I look at it, and when everybody was talking about what it was and what it did, and how Miss Lori loved it so much, and how she loved to have the kids on there, and they got to have some fun, and she got to experience them and try to teach them something. I just was so thrilled when Sue mentioned it. I thought, man, what a great way to carry on her legacy of love for the kids and for the school here. And just, to have her name and her picture on there, it just made me feel good, and it's just a special opportunity, and I just can't thank you all enough for making it happen. So, but most of all, the bike is awesome. Having it here for the kids is awesome. But you know what? What really means the most to me is just all the love. Excuse me. All the love that you have for Lori. And it's just such a blessing to be able to keep her presence here with the kids and right where she belongs. And so I can't thank you enough on behalf of myself, like Becky and Matt, her children, and her family, her Linda, Leanne, her mom, and her dad. And so just can't thank you enough for carrying on her memory. And I know she'll always be in everybody's heart, and that's right where she belongs. Thank you.
I also wanted to thank the Moore family and friends for being here today for our playground dedication. It's an honor the way we celebrate Lori in such a special way. I want to recognize Missy Ham Holland as well, Lori's longtime friend. Missy and I played a lot of phone tag, but Missy wanted a donation, how she could donate to help our students. I called Missy and I said, I have the perfect way. We are creating a new library here at the ELC. Missy donated, I thought 3 or 4 books, but she brought me a whole bag of brand new books for our students. They will be honored. There will be placards put in the books in memory of Lori Moore. She will continue to touch our students with her love of literacy. Finally, to my little Owls, you guys have been awesome. You're sitting here so patiently. I want you to know that your community knows that you are worthy. You are worthy of a high-quality education. You are worthy of dreaming and reaching your highest potential. And you are worthy of gaining the foundation for lifelong learning. With that, I officially dedicate this playground to the students of Mount Healthy Early Learning Center. May it be a source of joy, growth, and inspiration. Little Owls, go play. Everyone, please join us. You're welcome to stay out here. Please join us inside.